Cynicism? Yeah, sure. I was about to interview my friend Chuck Swindoll at a listener event several years ago. Dr. Swindoll has been one of the top biblical teachers in the U.S. and has been featured on the radio program Insight for Living since its start in 1979. By the way, that program airs weekly on over 2,000 radio stations worldwide. Well, at this listener event, there were almost 2,000 people, and as I started to ask my first question to Chuck, he interrupted me and he startled me. He said, "Ron, how do you keep from becoming cynical?" That, out of the blue, that left field question, it left me speechless for a moment. To be honest, I'm not real sure how exactly I responded. I probably talked about keeping the focus on Jesus and on our calling to serve Him. For whatever reason, cynicism was on Chuck Swindoll's mind that day. Mentor and leadership coach Fred Smith also has some thoughts about cynicism. He says, and listen to this, cynicism has no integrity. Even though it often properly evaluates the present, it has no hope for the future. Wow. The Israelites lacked hope for the future, even though they witnessed the amazing power of God to save them from Egyptian slavery. Yet their cynical nature came out verbally again and again. Listen to their comments to Moses, their leader. You can almost hear them whining. "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Weren't there enough graves for us in Egypt? What have you done to us? Why did you make us leave Egypt? Didn't we tell you this would happen while we were still in Egypt? We said, 'Leave us alone. Let us be slaves to the Egyptians. It's better to be a slave in Egypt than a corpse in the wilderness.'" That's Exodus 14, 11, and 12. And that is being pretty cynical. Jonathan Parnell is a pastor in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he has some frank words also about this kind of attitude that can sneak into our lives. He said, "Cynicism is that sneering bitterness toward all things true and deep. It's the subtle contempt trying to contaminate the cheeriest of moments, that slow, thick smoke of pessimism toxifying the oxygen in the lungs of our hope." Whew. That is a good warning for each of us to be on guard. The Apostle Peter, in his letter to new believers, may have been addressing this skeptical attitude as people looked for the promises of the Lord to unfold. Here's what he said. The Lord isn't really being slow about His promises, some people think. No, He's being patient for your sake. He does not want anyone to be destroyed, but wants everyone to repent. 2 Peter 3:9. Fred Smith concluded with these thoughts. As Christians, we have the responsibility to accurately assess the environment and respond appropriately. Maturity allows us to see without falling into unhealthy cynicism. We always want to be realistic, but keep our minds centered on the truth of higher things. I like that. Be centered on the truth of the higher things. Let's fix our hearts and minds on the higher things and cast aside any cynical or pessimistic attitude that may be starting to creep in. As Paul said, fix your thoughts on what's true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Or, as I like to simply put it, God's best. If you want to know more about our ministry to build up media leaders and to extend God's voice globally, visit our website, MEDIALLIANCE.net. And help us spread the impact of these videos by liking, subscribing, and sharing them. Thanks.